Bienvenue chez Examist, votre partenaire de confiance pour réussir vos certifications. Nous proposons des supports d'études complets, en ligne et hors ligne. Et nous sommes là pour vous guider pas à chaque étape. Des guides PDF détaillés aux exercices pratiques bien structurés. Toutes les questions essentielles sont soigneusement couvertes pour vous donner toutes les chances de réussir. Vous aurez toujours les bonnes ressources à portée de main. Téléchargez les PDFs. Faites des tests et connectez-vous à notre équipe d'assistance experte. Avec la pratique interactive en ligne. Entraînez-vous et quand vous voulez. À votre rythme. Nos PDFs prêts pour l'examen sont soigneusement élaborés et régulièrement mis à jour. Des milliers d'apprenants certifiés font confiance à notre qualité et à notre sérieux. Des professionnels qualifiés sont disponibles pour répondre à vos questions. Commencez dès aujourd'hui et donnez à votre préparation l'avantage décisif avec Examist. Visitez Examist. Comme dès maintenant. Examist. Votre parcours vers le succès commence ici.
Question 1. A company plans to use an Amazon Snowball Edge device to transfer files to the AWS cloud. Which activities related to a Snowball Edge device are available to the company at no cost? Option A. Use of the Snowball Edge appliance for a 10-day period. Option B. The transfer of data out of Amazon S3 into the Snowball Edge appliance. Option C. The transfer of data from the Snowball Edge appliance into Amazon S3. Option D. Daily use of the Snowball Edge appliance after 10 days. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option C. The transfer of data from the Snowball Edge appliance into Amazon S3. Question 2. A company has deployed applications on Amazon EC2 instances. The company needs to assess application vulnerabilities and must identify infrastructure deployments that do not meet best practices. Which AWS service can the company use to meet these requirements? Option A. AWS Trusted Advisor. Option B. Amazon Inspector. Option C. AWS Config. Option D. Amazon Guard Duty. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option B. Amazon Inspector. Question 3. A company has a centralized group of users with large file storage requirements that have exceeded the space available on premises. The company wants to extend its file storage capabilities for this group while retaining the performance benefit of sharing content locally. What is the most operationally efficient AWS solution for this scenario? Option A. Create an Amazon S3 bucket for each user. Mount each bucket by using an S3 file system mounting utility. Option B. Configure and deploy an AWS Storage Gateway file gateway. Connect each user's workstation to the file gateway. Option C. Move each user's working environment to Amazon Workspaces. Set up an Amazon WorkDocs account for each user. Option D. Deploy an Amazon EC2 instance and attach an Amazon Elastic Block Store. Amazon EBS. Provisioned IOPS volume. Share the EBS volume directly with the users. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option B. Configure and deploy an AWS Storage Gateway file gateway. Connect each user's workstation to the file gateway. Question 4. According to security best practices, how should an Amazon EC2 instance be given access to an Amazon S3 bucket? Option A. Hardcode an in-user's secret key and access key directly in the application. And upload the file. Option B. Store the in-user's secret key and access key in a text file on the EC2 instance. Read the keys. Then upload the file. Option C. Have the EC2 instance assume a role to obtain the privileges to upload the file. Option D. Modify the S3 bucket policy so that any service can upload to it at any time. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C. Have the EC2 instance assume a role to obtain the privileges to upload the file. Question 5. Which option is a customer responsibility when using Amazon DynamoDB under the AWS shared responsibility model? Option A. Physical security of DynamoDB. Option B. Patching of DynamoDB. Option C. Access to DynamoDB tables. Option D. Encryption of data at rest in DynamoDB. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C. Access to DynamoDB tables. Question 6. Which option is a perspective that includes foundational capabilities of the AWS Cloud Adoption Framework? AWS CAF. Option A. Sustainability. Option B. Performance efficiency. Option C. Governance. Option D. Reliability. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C. Governance. Question 7. A company is running and managing its own Docker environment on Amazon EC2 instances. The company wants an alternative to help manage cluster size, scheduling, and environment maintenance. Which AWS service meets these requirements? Option A. AWS Lambda. Option B. Amazon RDS. Option C. AWS Fargate. Option D. Amazon Athena. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C. AWS Fargate. Question 8. A company wants to run a NoSQL database on Amazon EC2 instances. Which task is the responsibility of AWS in this scenario? Option A. Update the guest operating system of the EC2 instances. Option B. Maintain high availability at the database layer. Option C. Patch the physical infrastructure that hosts the EC2 instances. Option D. Configure the security group firewall. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C. Patch the physical infrastructure that hosts the EC2 instances. Question 9. Which AWS services or tools can identify right-sizing opportunities for Amazon EC2 instances? Choose 2. Option A. AWS Cost Explorer. Option B. AWS Billing Conductor. Option C. Amazon Code Guru. Option D. Amazon SageMaker. Option E. AWS Compute Optimizer. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A. AWS Cost Explorer. Option E. AWS Compute Optimizer. Question 10. Which of the following are benefits of using AWS Trusted Advisor? Choose 2. Option A. Providing high-performance container orchestration. Option B. Creating and rotating encryption keys. Option C. Detecting underutilized resources to save costs. Option D. Improving security by proactively monitoring the AWS environment. Option E. Implementing enforced tagging across AWS resources. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C. Detecting underutilized resources to save costs. Option D. Improving security by proactively monitoring the AWS environment. Question 11. Which of the following is an advantage that users experience when they move on-premises workloads to the AWS cloud? Option A. Elimination of expenses for running and maintaining data centers. Option B. Price discounts that are identical to discounts from hardware providers. Option C. Distribution of all operational controls to AWS. Option D. Elimination of operational expenses. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option A. Elimination of expenses for running and maintaining data centers. Question 12. A company wants to manage deployed IT services and govern its infrastructure as code. IAC. Templates. Which AWS service will meet this requirement? Option A. AWS Resource Explorer. Option B. AWS Service Catalog. Option C. AWS Organizations. Option D. AWS Systems Manager. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option B. AWS Service Catalog. Question 13. Which AWS service or tool helps users visualize, understand, and manage spending and usage over time? Option A. AWS Organizations. Option B. AWS Pricing Calculator. Option C. AWS Cost Explorer. Option D. AWS Service Catalog. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option C. AWS Cost Explorer. Question 14. A company is using a central data platform to manage multiple types of data for its customers. The company wants to use AWS services to discover, transform, and visualize the data. Which combination of AWS services should the company use to meet these requirements? Choose 2. Option A. AWS Glue. Option B. Amazon Elastic File System. Amazon EFS. Option C. Amazon Redshift. Option D. Amazon QuickSight. Option E. Amazon Quantum Ledger Database. Amazon QLDB. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option A. AWS Glue. Option D. Amazon QuickSight. Question 15. A global company wants to migrate its third-party applications to the AWS cloud. The company wants help from a global team of experts to complete the migration faster and more reliably in accordance with AWS internal best practices. Which AWS service or resource will meet these requirements? Option A. AWS Support. Option B. AWS Professional Services. Option C. AWS Launch Wizard. Option D. AWS Managed Services. AMS. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option B. AWS Professional Services. Question 16. An e-learning platform needs to run an application for 2 months each year. The application will be deployed on Amazon EC2 instances. Any application downtime during those 2 months must be avoided. Which EC2 purchasing option will meet these requirements most cost-effectively? Option A. Reserved instances. Option B. Dedicated hosts. Option C. Spot instances. Option D. On-demand instances. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option D. On-demand instances. Question 17. A developer wants to deploy an application quickly on AWS without manually creating the required resources. Which AWS service will meet these requirements? Option A. Amazon EC2. Option B. AWS Elastic Beanstalk. Option C. AWS Code Build. Option D. Amazon Personalize. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option B. AWS Elastic Beanstalk. Question 18. A company is storing sensitive customer data in an Amazon S3 bucket. The company wants to protect the data from accidental deletion or overwriting. Which S3 feature should the company use to meet these requirements? Option A. S3 Lifecycle Rules. Option B. S3 Versioning. Option C. S3 Bucket Policies. Option D. S3 Server-Side Encryption. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option B. S3 Versioning. Question 19. Which AWS service provides the ability to manage infrastructure as code? Option A. AWS Code Pipeline. Option B. AWS Code Deploy. Option C. AWS Direct Connect. Option D. AWS Cloud Formation. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option D. AWS Cloud Formation. Question 20. An online gaming company needs to choose a purchasing option to run its Amazon EC2 instances for 1 year. The web traffic is consistent, and any increases in traffic are predictable. The EC2 instances must be online and available without any disruption. Which EC2 instance purchasing option will meet these requirements most cost-effectively? Option A. On-demand instances. Option B. Reserved instances. Option C. Spot instances. Option D. Spot fleet. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option B. Reserved instances. Question 21. Which AWS service or feature allows a user to establish a dedicated network connection between a company's on-premises data center and the AWS cloud? Option A. AWS Direct Connect. Option B. VPC Peering. Option C. AWS VPN. Option D. Amazon Route 53. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option A. AWS Direct Connect. Question 22. Which option is a physical location of the AWS global infrastructure? Option A. AWS Data Sync. Option B. AWS Region. Option C. Amazon Connect. Option D. AWS Organizations. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option B. AWS Region. Question 23. A company wants to protect its AWS cloud information, systems, and assets while performing risk assessment and mitigation tasks. Which pillar of the AWS well-architected framework is supported by these goals? Option A. Reliability. Option B. Security. Option C. Operational excellence. Option D. Performance efficiency. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option B. Security. Question 24. What is the purpose of having an internet gateway within a VPC? Option A. To create a VPN connection to the VPC. Option B. To allow communication between the VPC and the Internet. Option C. To impose bandwidth constraints on Internet traffic. Option D. To load balance traffic from the Internet across Amazon EC2 instances. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option B. To allow communication between the VPC and the Internet. Question 25. A company is running a monolithic on-premises application that does not scale and is difficult to maintain. The company has a plan to migrate the application to AWS and divide the application into microservices. Which best practice of the AWS well-architected framework is the company following with this plan? Option A. Integrate functional testing as part of AWS deployment. Option B. Use automation to deploy changes. Option C. Deploy the application to multiple locations. Option D. Implement loosely coupled dependencies. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option D. Implement loosely coupled dependencies. Question 26. A company has an AWS account. The company wants to audit its password and access key rotation details for compliance purposes. Which AWS service or tool will meet this requirement? Option A. ING Access Analyzer. Option B. AWS Artifact. Option C. ING Credential Report. Option D. AWS Audit Manager. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C. ING Credential Report. Question 27. A company wants to receive a notification when a specific AWS cost threshold is reached. Which AWS services or tools can the company use to meet this requirement? Choose 2. Option A. Amazon Simple Queue Service. Amazon SQS. Option B. AWS Budgets. Option C. Cost Explorer. Option D. Amazon CloudWatch. Option E. AWS Cost and Usage Report. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B. AWS Budgets. Option D. Amazon CloudWatch. Question 28. Which AWS service or resource provides answers to the most frequently asked security-related questions that AWS receives from its users? Option A. AWS Artifact. Option B. Amazon Connect. Option C. AWS Chatbot. Option D. AWS Knowledge Center. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option D. AWS Knowledge Center. Question 29. Which tasks are customer responsibilities? According to the AWS Shared Responsibility Model. Choose 2. Option A. Configure the AWS provided security group firewall. Option B. Classify company assets in the AWS cloud. Option C. Determine which availability zones to use for Amazon S3 buckets. Option D. Patch or upgrade Amazon DynamoDB. Option E. Select Amazon EC2 instances to run AWS Lambda on. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A. Configure the AWS provided security group firewall. Option B. Classify company assets in the AWS cloud. Question 30. Which of the following are pillars of the AWS well-architected framework? Choose 2. Option A. Availability. Option B. Reliability. Option C. Scalability. Option D. Responsive design. Option E. Operational excellence. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B. Reliability. Option E. Operational excellence. Question 31. Which AWS service or feature is used to send both text and email messages from distributed applications? Option A. Amazon Simple Notification Service. Amazon SNS. Option B. Amazon Simple Email Service. Amazon Says. Option C. Amazon CloudWatch Alerts. Option D. Amazon Simple Queue Service. Amazon SQS. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A. Amazon Simple Notification Service. Amazon SNS. Question 32. A user needs programmatic access to AWS resources through the AWS CLI or the AWS API. Which option will provide the user with the appropriate access? Option A. Amazon Inspector. Option B. Access keys. Option C. SSH public keys. Option D. AWS Key Management Service. AWS KMS. Keys. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B. Access keys. Question 33. A company runs thousands of simultaneous simulations using AWS batch. Each simulation is stateless, is fault-tolerant, and runs for up to 3 hours. Which pricing model enables the company to optimize costs and meet these requirements? Option A. Reserved instances. Option B. Spot instances. Option C. On-demand instances. Option D. Dedicated instances. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B. Spot instances. Question 34. What does the concept of agility mean in AWS cloud computing? Choose 2. Option A. The speed at which AWS resources are implemented. Option B. The speed at which AWS creates new AWS regions. Option C. The ability to experiment quickly. Option D. The elimination of wasted capacity. Option E. The low cost of entry into cloud computing. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A. The speed at which AWS resources are implemented. Option C. The ability to experiment quickly. Question 35. A company needs to block SQL injection attacks. Which AWS service or feature can meet this requirement? Option A. AWS WAF. Option B. AWS Shield. Option C. Network ACLs. Option D. Security groups. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A. AWS WAF. Question 36. Which AWS service or feature identifies whether an Amazon S3 bucket or an ING role has been shared with an external entity? Option A. AWS Service Catalog. Option B. AWS Systems Manager. Option C. AWS ING Access Analyzer. Option D. AWS Organizations. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C. AWS ING Access Analyzer. Question 37. A cloud practitioner needs to obtain AWS compliance reports before migrating an environment to the AWS cloud. How can these reports be generated? Option A. Contact the AWS compliance team. Option B. Download the reports from AWS Artifact. Option C. Open a case with AWS support. Option D. Generate the reports with Amazon Macy. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B. Download the reports from AWS Artifact. Question 38. An e-commerce company has migrated its IT infrastructure from an on-premises data center to the AWS cloud. Which cost is the company's direct responsibility? Option A. Cost of application software licenses. Option B. Cost of the hardware infrastructure on AWS. Option C. Cost of power for the AWS servers. Option D. Cost of physical security for the AWS data center. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A. Cost of application software licenses. Question 39. A company is setting up AWS Identity and Access Management ING on an AWS account. Which recommendation complies with ING security best practices? Option A. Use the account root user access keys for administrative tasks. Option B. Grant broad permissions so that all company employees can access the resources they need. Option C. Turn on multi-factor authentication. MFA. For added security during the login process. Option D. Avoid rotating credentials to prevent issues in production applications. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option C. Turn on multi-factor authentication. MFA. For added security during the login process. Question 40. Elasticity in the AWS cloud refers to which of the following? Choose 2. Option A. How quickly an Amazon EC2 instance can be restarted. Option B. The ability to right-size resources as demand shifts. Option C. The maximum amount of RAM an Amazon EC2 instance can use. Option D. The pay-as-you-go billing model. Option E. How easily resources can be procured when they are needed. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option B. The ability to right-size resources as demand shifts. Option E. How easily resources can be procured when they are needed.